team. And man, the training has been so good. Have y'all loved the training so far? I'm hearing also that this is the best Ruby retreat yet. And we say that every year. I don't know if y'all realize that, but every year we say that. It does get better and better. So I think this is our fourth one. Is this the fourth Ruby retreat we've ever done, or third? Fourth. Okay, fourth Ruby retreat. All right, so just know they do get better each year because we learn, right? So Tiffany and Jamie killed it talking about casting vision. And then Jamie and Christina also killed it talking about developing leaders who develop leaders. And so this talk is going to be about coaching your team, but it could also be called Developing Leaders Who Develop Leaders Part 2, because it's really just a continuation of what Jamie and Christina were already talking about. And I do find that coaching people is something that people struggle with. And it's actually my very favorite part of the business because I'm a naturally curious person. I love to ask questions. So let's talk about coaching. The goal of coaching is not getting your team to do what you want them to do. So let's just put that out there. That is not the goal of coaching. The goal of coaching is to take your person through a path of self-discovery. It's not necessarily training, although sometimes some training does come up in there. Sometimes you're going to help your person develop a game plan and you're going to give them some action steps to take. But coaching is different than training. Training is more like teaching, like here's the skill set, here's what you should do or how you should think, now go do it, right? That would be training or teaching. Coaching is a lot of asking questions and listening. So much of leadership, you guys, is good connecting skills. I honestly feel like it's about 90% of it. About 90% of leadership is simply good people skills. It's just being a good connector. It's being interested in people, who they are and what makes them tick, and then helping them pull out their own potential. That is really what good leadership is. Okay? Just asking questions and listening. All right, so let's talk about the place where you coach from. Are you coaching from irritation or agitation? The difference is irritation is when you're talking at them and telling them what to do so that they're going to go off and do what you told them to do, what you want them to do. Usually when you're in this place, you are emotionally attached to the outcome. You're irritated with them if they don't do what you say. Agitation is when you agitate their problem so that they can see it, so that they can see their own thoughts and that they can go and do what they want to do. Huge difference. Agitation, both of them? Okay, irritation is when you're talking at them and telling them what to do so that they're going to go do what you want them to do. And usually you are emotionally attached. Agitation is helping them see their own thoughts so that they can go and do what they want to do. If you are coaching from a place of agitation, you're agitating their problem so that they can see it. Doesn't mean you're agitated with them. It means you're agitating their problem, okay? So you're not irritated with them. You're not emotionally attached to the outcome. You can completely remove yourself from this equation entirely, and you help them see the thoughts and circumstances for themselves, okay? You're not going to be an effective coach if you can't remove yourself and your own emotions from the equation. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you are emotionally attached, people sense it. This is when people feel pushed. If some of you are like, I don't want to tell my team the hard things, or I don't want to follow up too much because I'm scared I'm going to bug them, I'm scared I'm going to push them away, I'm scared I'm going to blah, 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 whatever you're scared of, that's because you're emotionally attached to their outcome. So this also applies in parenting, just so you know. I feel like everything we talk about in this business is not just related to business. It's just related to life. Like, this is good life coaching. So when people feel like you're emotionally attached, they feel like they're just there to serve your agenda. And you're not going to make progress that way, okay? So here's how to not be emotionally attached. You need to know that you don't need them to do anything for you to be successful. Your success is up to you. I need everybody to repeat that right now. My success is up to me. Thank you. All right? If you need to say that before you get on a coaching call, say that to yourself. Go look in the mirror and tell yourself, your success is up to you. Brittney, your success is up to you. It's not up to this person and what they do or do not do. You do not need them to do anything for you to be successful. Okay? So when you know that, then you're not emotionally attached to the outcome, and you can really focus on drawing out that person's potential and connecting with that person as a person and not a paycheck. Okay? And I've even heard, last week I heard a team member describe what she used to think network marketing was like. She's like, I used to think network marketing was, I don't have time to go build someone else's empire. You know why people feel that way? Because a leader is emotionally attached. Okay, so don't be. And somebody asked me a great question yesterday. She said, I feel like I struggle to say hard things to my team. Do you feel like you struggle to tell your people the hard things? And I was like, nope. Not at all. As a matter of fact, when we were doing that stream activity, which was really powerful, by the way. Sally, great job on that. I loved that. But like, everybody kept throwing me the ball and saying, Brittney tells me hard things that I don't want to hear, but that I need to hear. And I'm like, how do I have any friends? Like, how do people even still like me? Everybody must think I am so mean. But no, I'm not afraid to say what people need to hear, because I'm not afraid they're going to quit. I'm afraid they're going to fail if I don't. If I don't say it, they're not going to reach their potential. So I feel responsible to tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. You know why? Because I love them. So if you are going to be emotionally attached, let the emotion be love. And then people will receive that. Okay? So love your folks. And it's just like with your kids, right? You will say hard things to your kids, not because you're mad at them, but because, although you do get mad at them, but because you love them, right? You're not going to let them continue on a destructive path. But you're going to intervene if you love them. Okay, so your team members the same way. Okay, so coach from a clean place. Do not be emotionally attached. Here are clear signs you're not coaching from a clean place. Do you get defensive during coaching? Do you get frustrated with them during coaching? Or do you get frustrated with them after coaching when you realize they're not doing what you said? If so, you're emotionally attached. You're focusing on yourself and not them. All right, here's another thing. Sometimes this business can bring up emotions. That's why we had an hour-long talk about emotions yesterday, because we all got it, right? And sometimes people need to talk about and process their emotions, and there's nothing wrong with that. But here's what you don't want to do. You don't really want to get in the pool with them. Friends might want to get in the pool with their friends. Leaders and coaches do not get in the pool. It means you do not come into agreement with their thoughts and their feelings. Guys, this is not encouragement. This is not what people need from you. They do not need rescuing. They need empowerment. If you want to rescue them, empower them. Give them action steps to take. Don't validate every single thing that they think and feel and think that it's legitimate. Most people don't think about what they're thinking about. Most people have a thought and then just assume it's true because they think it or feel it. And that is not the case. So you are an outsider looking in, and your role is not friend here. They're coming to you because they want to grow a business. They want a paycheck. That's why they're coming to you. You're not their therapist. Okay? Okay, so tell them the truth, offer perspective, and also, you still felt found a lot. I love feel, felt, found. You guys know that phrase, right? I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, but what I found was, so I mean, I'm not saying that you should tell people that they shouldn't feel how they feel. Again, the goal is to help them see the thoughts and circumstances for themselves. So you can offer perspective by validating, like they may have a valid emotion. Let's just say a team member quits on them. They're going to have some feelings about that, and it's founded. They should feel badly about that. Like they're going to be disappointed. They might even be hurt. Could even possibly feel betrayed, depending on the situation. So that's all normal. Everybody would feel those things, okay? So here's how you can handle it. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, but what I found was, and then you offer perspective, okay? Don't let them stay there. If you want to truly rescue a victim, then you empower them to solve the problem, not to stay there, okay? All right, how do you know who to invest time in coaching? Because coaching, honestly, it's the bulk of the time I spend on my business is coaching people. IPA doesn't really take that long. Even if you're doing IPA consistently and onboarding new people, that's not, I mean, you can do that in a few hours a day. But a good coaching call takes me at least 30 minutes, sometimes an hour. So obviously I can't do this one-on-one with every single person. So how do you know who? Well, first of all, you're going to invest your time in the top 20%. Love the 80%. I'm not saying don't love people. I'm saying invest your time in the top 20 and love the 80. People who are hungry for change. And I don't mean hungry for growth. The whole goal of coaching is to take someone who is hungry for change in their life and develop them into somebody who is hungry for growth. That's the whole goal, right? Like my team members, kind of a running joke. Like when we all first started doing this thing together, I've always had a growth mindset because I've had to. I don't know if y'all know my story, but I was a teenage mother. I didn't know how to be a mother. I had to figure some things out. It required me to grow. I was determined not to fail, I know that, and so I had to learn some things. I wasn't sitting there thinking, oh, I got this, I know how to be a good parent. I had to learn some things. Same thing with homeschooling, or learning theology, or learning about food and nutrition. I mean, guys, these are just things I've taught myself. And so when I came into the business, I knew I didn't know anything. I had no clue what I was doing. And so it was just natural for me to just know that I had to learn, right? Well, I realized that that's not most people. A lot of people don't come into this with that mindset. And so people made fun of me when I started because I read books for fun. Yes, I think it's fun. Like I literally would rather do that probably than anything besides karaoke with y'all. So I really do love learning, and it was a running joke. Like no, I don't think anybody else did that or loved that. And so, but they do now though. They do now. They ain't laughing at me now. They all got fat paychecks. You're welcome. So look for people who are hungry for change and develop them into people who are hungry for growth. You know how you do that? You give them a taste of the results that growth produces, and they get addicted to that. When they grow and they see the results and the fruit of that growth, they're like, oh, I need more of that. And then they love growing. They love changing. They get hungry for improving themselves and becoming the best version of who God's called them to be. So look for people who are hungry for change. They want change in their life. And then plug them into our book studies. Things like that, okay? You want to invest time in people who are producing results. They're coachable. They're good listeners. I don't coach somebody who's going to, they talk so much that I cannot even develop a complete thought before they interrupt me. That's very frustrating for me as a coach, so I generally don't hang out there. Or if I'm coaching them and I need to continue coaching them because I do see their potential, then I'm willing to say, hey, you talk too much. I'm going to need you to listen. Okay? So they need to be coachable and listen well. They need to be humble and ask questions if they need help. And I said invest in the top 20%. Sometimes that phrase feels fuzzy because what if it's a new person who is not in your top 20% yet, but they have the potential to be? I would invest time there. If they are either in your top 20% or they have the potential to be, spend time there. But they need to be coachable. And then you just don't drag anybody. Have you guys heard that phrase, I would rather run with 10,000 than carry one? You want to develop a team full of people who have vision and belief, and they are running full steam ahead. They are as hungry for this as you are. And you don't drag anybody. Dragging is like you have coached them through the mindset issues for months and months on end, and it still keeps coming up. They're still not taking action, okay? And they're still making excuses, whatever. That's dragging. I don't do that. You know why I don't do that? Because I don't need anybody to feel like I don't feel like my business hinges on whether or not they decide to do this. It doesn't. I know there are people out there who need what I have. And so I don't look at that person and think, my business is going to fail if they don't do whatever. I don't feel like I have to have them being successful in order for me to be successful, although in reality, you can't be successful alone. Okay? So it's kind of a paradox. Okay, so if you don't have anybody like this who's all in like that, like what I'm describing, go create them. Go spend your time not dragging people, but casting vision and building people's belief and investing in people and showing people, talking to people about what their potential is. That's where the bulk of your time goes. Going and creating those people. Did you know business builders are not found? They're made. So go make them. Are you casting big enough vision and belief? If you don't have anybody who's all in, are you talking to everybody about just getting their products paid for? If you got people who can go silver or even gold, but you really struggle to get them past that gold part, you could be emotionally attached and you're turning them off, and they sense that, or you haven't developed the skill set yet of helping them through the mindset issues. Because guys, 80% of this business is mindset. The skill set is a very small portion, and it's the easiest part. What we do is very simple. It's not rocket science. The hardest part is getting control of what's between our ears, and we all struggle with it. I don't care how strong someone appears to be, they are fighting an inner battle with their thoughts. Might not be the same thoughts you struggle with, but they got some thoughts, okay? So if you're struggling to develop golds into senior golds and rubies and beyond,